Welcome from the West Quad Gymnasium at Brooklyn, New York. You are watching Brooklyn College Bulldogs basketball on YouTube.com, your home for everything Brooklyn. Hello, everybody. I'm Jonathan Perriente alongside my broadcast partner, Ivan Morabel. And Ivan, we're going to start with game one here of this doubleheader against a very competitive NJAC conference. The women's Bulldogs taking on the Montclair State University Redhawks. For the women, it's been really a tale of 6 games. First 3 win, last 3 the women have lost. Women are on a 3-game losing streak, and they are looking to get back on track here tonight.
Right, exactly. And, we spoke about it earlier today before we started this broadcast here. It's not going to be a tough, an easy go. Okay, sorry. It's not going to go an easy go around for the women here tonight. Obviously, they're going up against the Hawks, who are 8-2. And, we spoke about the women and the fact that they have been struggling as of late, 3-game losing streak. Completely different than what they looked like last year. But, of course, still plenty of time left. But, hopefully they can come out with something and perhaps do something a little different that they haven't done in their last 3 games, which is come out with a win.
The Bulldogs are in the middle of kind of facing a meat of the schedule, if you will. Started with December 1st against Amherst College. Women's Bulldogs came up in that game and did not even crack 30 points. Then they came on to play again here on the road at Cabrini University. They came up short in that game, losing by 12. And then just 3 days ago against St. Joseph's College, the women's Bulldogs had the lead in the fourth, but were not able to hold it and ended up losing the game in overtime to now be 3-3 on the year. And now playing against a Montclair team that has not only dominated the entire NJAC conference, but really they've just been blowing opponents away. They're 8-2 on the year, and this is a very good defensive team. They only give up about 50 points a game.
Right. Just to add on to the last game that the women's had and when they played St. Joseph's, I mean, to be honest, they had no business losing that game. In fact, they were up by as much as 18 points in the third quarter, yet alone 11 heading into the fourth. But for some odd reason, they could not find a basket in the fourth, which essentially caused St. Joseph to tie the game, and they went to overtime. And, unfortunately, which led them into their 3-game losing streak here tonight. But, yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to be looking for a different result.
Talked about this a little early. The 3-ball was what really did the Bulldogs in. Bulldogs shot 4 of 28 from the field. Alexandra Mugen, who's known for 3-point shooting, really struggled. If you're the Bulldogs now going into this game, do you still stay with that 3-point ball and you feel like it's only a matter of time before it goes in?
Well, here's my take on that. If players such as Mugen or Taylor George are open, take it. Why not? I mean, you always want to take a wide-open shot, But when you look at what happened last game and the fact that they still went to it, yet going into the fourth and as well as overtime, it didn't fall for them as much as it did in previous games. You've got to change something. And I think you have to go against taking a 3-point shot and perhaps working your way into the paint, driving to the basket, looking for a foul, things such as that.
We'll definitely see how the Bulldogs will make the adjustment. But for right now, we're going to take a little break for our national anthem. When we come back, lineups and the opening tip-off here from the West Quad Gymnasium. And a very beautiful rendition of the national anthem as we welcome you back to the West Quad Center Gymnasium here in Brooklyn, New York, where we're about getting set for doubleheader action here at the West Quad. Brooklyn College Bulldogs taking on the Montclair State University Redhawks. As we'll go through the starting lineups, we'll begin first with the visiting Montclair State Hawks. Number 2, Taylor Brown, the 5'11 sophomore guard out of Trumbull High School from Trumbull, Connecticut, will wear number 2. Julia Sutton, the 5'6 freshman guard out of Dallastown High School from York, Pennsylvania, she'll wear number 3. Kim Calloway, the 5'7 guard out of Morristown High School from Morristown, New Jersey, a sophomore, she will wear the number 13. Alex McKinnon, the leading scorer on this Montclair team, the 6'1 junior forward out of Fairfield Ludlow High School from Fairfield, Connecticut. And finally, Dominic Wurzing, the 5'11 senior captain of this team from Kinnelon High School from Kinnelon, New Jersey. She will wear the number 25. For the Brooklyn College Bulldogs, number 2, Michelle Pena, the 5'5 sophomore guard out of Maspeth High School from Elmhurst, Queens, New York. Number 4, Alexandra Mugen, the 5'10 senior guard forward and captain out of Midwood High School right next door to Brooklyn from right here in Brooklyn, New York. Taylor George, the 5' guard sophomore out of Whitehall High School from Whitehall, Pennsylvania. She'll wear number 22. Jasmine Hanchin, the 5'10 senior forward out of Salt Lake City, Utah from Highland High School. She'll wear number 25. And finally, Chanel Jamat, the 5'9 sophomore forward out of Leon M. Goldstein High School from Brooklyn, New York. She will wear the number 33. Bulldogs are coached by Alex Lang, entering his 17th year. The Hawks are coached by Karen Harvey. The officials for today's game, Rich Fetter, the head ref, Tracy Stamper, and Ashley Olson. And Ivan, a very competitive game we are going to see here today. And what do the women's Bulldogs have to do tonight against this Montclair team?
Right. Well, first things first, you want to do the opposite of what you did against St. Joseph's, which is, of course, maintain the lead if you ever do have one at some point throughout tonight's game. But not just that. You can't, as we mentioned right before during the pregame, you can't rely on the three-point shot. You know, I understand if someone's open, you do want to take it, as I mentioned. However, if it's not falling, try to work something out, run a play, find your way into the paint, perhaps take a mid-range shot. But nonetheless, you have to maintain the lead if you do have one tonight.
Definitely true, Ivan, and we'll have to see if the women's Bulldogs will come out thinking exactly just that. This Montclair team is a very competitive team defensively. They have been dominant throughout the entire NJAC conference. They have been a big rival of the Bulldogs, and it has been quite a while. I can say that. It's been quite a while since a women's Bulldogs team has defeated Montclair. Only one win in their previous 11 meetings, so it's been a very, very long time. And we'll see if the women can finally break that little streak tonight. Montclair is a team, they only give up about 51 points per game. And we're about ready to begin. It's Chanel Jamat at center court. And the opening tip-off is deflected out of bounds, and possession will go to Montclair. And it will be Taylor Brown who will take the inbound to start things off. Officials are getting things cleared. And the referees have changed their decision. It will be Brooklyn College ball. So just on a tip-off, a little debate on the call, but Brooklyn will take it. And here we go. Allie Mugen will take the possession, looks for someone, hands it off to the top of the key for Chanel Jamat. Right wing goes Michelle Pena. Pena moves to the top of the key. Pena watched by Taylor Brown. Pena still holding the ball. Top of the key. 15 to shoot for the Bulldogs. Right wing hands it off to Taylor George. A slight bobble, but kept on. 10 seconds. George trying to look for some opening. Bulldogs right now are just not moving around. Left wing goes George, driving inside. Try to throw a pass, and it was off the hands, out of bounds. And for the first possession, Bulldogs just too much stagnant.
Right, tough possession there. I mean, not sure what they were trying to run there, but it did seem as though the teammates weren't, included on with what Taylor George was trying to run there.
Taylor Brown, in the meantime, hands it off to Julia Sutton. Sutton, now to the left wing it goes for Calloway. Calloway back to Sutton. Moving inside is Brown. Layup attempt and a score. Beautiful crush to the net by Taylor Brown, and Montclair takes an early 2-0 lead. Right wing is Michelle Pena. Right wing looking for some space. Pena moves to the top of the key, kicks it out to Jamat. Jamat Kicks it out to the left wing. The ball was knocked off the hands of Taylor George. It will stay Bulldogs ball. So early on, Bulldogs looking a little stagnant out of the gate and really just telegraphing a lot of passes early on.
And that's credit to the Red Hawks' defense.
Mugen looking to hand it off and gives it to Hanchin. Hanchin will hand it back to Pena. 10 seconds to shoot for Brooklyn. Pena, top of the key. Pena tries to make a move inside. Pena kicks it out to Mugen. Mugen will fire for three. And a score! Alexandra Mugen from downtown. First three of the game for Brooklyn. They take a 3-2 lead.
There it is. That's how you want to start the game right there. Nice shot by Mugen.
8:29 to go in the first quarter. Brooklyn College with a 1-point lead. But Montclair will come back the other way. This is Callaway. Callaway driving it down inside. Kicks it out to Wurzing. Back to Wurzing inside. Wurzing had the ball stripped and taken away by Chanel Jamat. Hands it off to Pena. Pena crossing half court. Pena moving inside. Tries to get inside on Sutton. Hands it back to Mugen. Mugen fires another three. Off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound taken by Wurzing. Wurzing will dribble the ball up. Hands it to Taylor Brown. Crossing it down to the right wing side from Alex McKinnon. Fires a three. Shot off the rim. No good. Wurzing gets her own rebound. Back to McKinnon. McKinnon drives inside the right low paint. The ball is turned over. It will be Brooklyn College ball.
Nice defense there by Jamat, putting her hands up, allowing one of the players from the Red Hawks to go out of bounds there in that possession.
And that was a good stop on McKinnon if you are Brooklyn College. And now here's Pena, watched by Sutton, hands it back to George, right wing Mugen. Mugen fires another long three off the front rim, no good. Ball is rebounded to Pena. Pena resets the offense, hands it off to Taylor George now at the left wing. George watched by Callaway. George left wing, gets around Callaway. George kicks it out, faked. Kicks it back to Hanchin, 14 to shoot. Hanchin back to George. George just took one too many dribbles, and the ball's taken by Montclair. And here comes Wurzing, right wing. Wurzing kicks it off, left wing to Taylor Brown. Drives inside. McKinnon a jump shot. Off the front rim, no good. Ball's deflected, out of bounds, last touched by Montclair. Brooklyn ball.
Nice defense by the Bulldogs there, though I will say that you don't really see too much ball movement when they're on the offensive end.
That's what I'm noticing too, and early on it seems like the Bulldogs are afraid to attack the paint. We'll see if the Bulldogs change things up. Pena, top of the key now, watched by Sutton, right wing to Jamat. We get a whistle and looks like we got an offensive 3-second violation. It was called against Brooklyn, and Coach Lang will call a very quick 30-second timeout. With 6:55 to play in the first quarter, Brooklyn ahead 3-2.
Right, so we did mention the fact that, the women love to pull the trigger from beyond the arc, and we've seen Mugen take 3 of those. The first one landed. However, I will say the following 2 shots that she did take after that might have been contested, but, nonetheless, what a way to knock down that first one, and who knows, she may be in for a huge game tonight as opposed to last game.
We'll definitely see what happens, but right now, if you're the Bulldogs, the creativity has to change. The Bulldogs have to be a little more creative down in the paint and not just be so one-dimensional with 3-point shots. The Bulldogs are going to have to change up the game plan just a little bit. Montclair, as I mentioned, a very tough team to score on defensively. So for the Bulldogs, they'll have to change things up as we go. Back to the action we go, and here comes Montclair. It's Taylor Brown handing it off to Sutton, crossing half court. George on her there. It's Taylor Brown, top of the key for McKinnon. Left wing now goes to Callaway. Callaway had a slight problem with the ball for a moment. Good double team by Jamat and Pena. Right wing it goes to McKinnon. McKinnon to Sutton, and Sutton hands it back to McKinnon. McKinnon had the ball tipped, but it's down low. Wurzing inside the hoop and scores. Beautiful move by Dominic Wurzing with the left-hand scoop, and Montclair takes a 4-3 lead. Out to the far left wing goes Taylor George. Moving inside, layup attempt. Off the front rim, no good. A good try. Callaway rebounds. Callaway coming the other way, watched by Pena. Callaway backs off. Right wing, down low to McKinnon. McKinnon kicks it out to the far left corner. Here's a long three. And a score for Taylor Brown from the far left corner. And now Montclair goes up 7-3. Here is George. Pivots back to Pena. Right wing, left wing to Jamat. Jamat, beautiful turnaround. Jamat kicks it down and turned it over to Wurzing. Here comes Sutton, crossing half court. Right wing to Callaway. Fires for 3 and a score. Count it, and a foul.
Silly foul there by Pena. Not sure what she was doing there on that possession, but, got to do a better job of getting back on defense.
And now add to that, it's an and one, so it's a 4-point play for Montclair. The three is good from Callaway plus a free throw. We'll check the foul. It's going to be against Pena. That will be her first. Coach Lang very visibly not happy. And preparing to make a substitution early. First free throw is up from Callaway. It's no good. And the rebound is taken by Taylor Brown. Brown will reset the offense now, top of the key. Brown, right wing to McKinnon. Far right corner to Wersing. Kicks it inside to Taylor Brown. Brown loses the ball to Taylor George. George crossing half court. George at the Bulldogs bench now. Kicks it out to Pena. Top of the key, Pena. Redirecting the offense. Pena watched by Callaway, right wing. Pena inside. Hansen try to put on a good screen. Fight for the ball. We get a whistle and going to call a jump ball. Or are they going to call a foul against Montclair? I think they called a foul on Montclair.
It's a foul, right.
It's on Kim Callaway. That'll be her first. Substitutions for the Bulldogs now are coming in. It's Kayla Trembone and Deanna Rogers have checked into the game for Brooklyn. Going to the bench will be Pena and Jamat. Inbounding the ball for Brooklyn now is Hansen. She takes a jump shot, in and out, no good. Rebound is taken by Wersing. Wersing hands it off to Sutton, crossing half court. Far right pass to Callaway. Ball deflects out of bounds. Last touched by Callaway. It's Brooklyn basketball.
Wow, that did look like it was off Brooklyn, but, it's always good to get the ball back on a possession like that.
Sometimes you have to get a lucky break sometimes. Here's Trembone crossing half court. Right wing, it goes to Mugen. Mugen kicks it out to the far left corner for George. Fires for three, off the front rim, no good. Rebound is saved. And we get a whistle and a possession error. I think we had a jump ball. We're going to have a substitution coming in, and Karis McClellan will come into the game for Montclair. Callaway and also Sutton will go to the bench. We also have Trisha Peterson in the game. Peterson from High Point High School from Lafayette, New Jersey. Driving it inside, and the ball's turned over, and it's Mugen coming away with it and handing it off to Trembone. Trembone trying to get around McClellan. Oh, good move by George. Good move there by Trembone to get it around McClellan, right wing. Trembone looks for some space. Top of the key for Rogers. Rogers, we get a whistle. Ball is thrown away, but a whistle foul was called against the Redhawks. We'll check the foul. It's going to be against McKinnon. That will be her first. So quickly, the top two scorers each on Montclair have a foul each early.
I like what Brooklyn tried to do there, noticing that they haven't been able to get things done on the offensive end, but finding a way to get the ball down low, but good thing it's still Brooklyn ball.
Making a substitution, Mugen will come out of the game, and LCC Lauren Clark-Cornett will enter the game. And here comes Brooklyn to inbound. Jamat looking for some space. Tried to throw it in on the inbound. The ball's deflected, and it's going to be Montclair basketball. So a bad turnover on the inbound early for Brooklyn College. And with 4:15 to go, Montclair leading at 10-3. Here's Wersing, watched by George. Kicks it out to Sutton. Sutton tries to make a move around George. Right wing now to McClellan. Top of the key, McKinnon. McKinnon, right wing to Wersing. Wersing moves inside. We get a whistle. Foul is called. It will go against Brooklyn. We'll check the foul. It'll be their second team foul. It's on Taylor George. That's her first. So each team with two team fouls early with 4:01 to play here in the first. Ball's inbound, almost stolen there by Rogers. Deflected, last touch by Rogers. It will stay Montclair ball. 3:58 remaining in the first quarter. McClellan will inbound the ball and hands it off now to McKinnon. To Sutton, excuse me. Back out to Peterson. We get a whistle. And we get another foul called against Brooklyn. Coach Lang can't believe it. That'll be the third team foul now against the Bulldogs. It's on Lauren Clark-Cornett. It will be her first. Inbounding it will be Montclair now. It's Wersing, top of the key for McClellan. McClellan makes a move around the top of the key. Inside, right wing to Wersing. Wersing drives in. A good block by Deanna Rogers. Brooklyn comes away with it. And here comes Trembone trying to get around McClellan and does. Left wing, Trembone drives inside, far right corner, kicks it out to George. George drives in. We get a whistle, and George stepped out of bounds, and it's Montclair ball. So right now, Ivan, the Bulldogs just too many mistakes and shooting themselves in the foot for it right now.
Right. It seems as if the women just can't find anything to go their way on the offensive end. You know, I will say, though, they are playing better defense, but you've got to find something to go in your favor.
Bulldogs trying to get a steal here early. We get a whistle, and another foul is called. The fourth foul already against the Bulldogs. That's the third foul in the last minute and 40 seconds.
Right. Not good for Brooklyn.
No, it's not. Trembone gets called for the foul. That will be her first. As Montclair now will take possession. Here is McClelland at the left wing. Kicks it out to the top for Wersing. Left wing is Peterson. Peterson watched by Hanchin. Right wing it goes to Sutton. Sutton tries to make a move around the left side. Kicks it down low. Ball's deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Brooklyn. It will stay Montclair ball, but Montclair will have 10 seconds to shoot. 3:01 to go in the first quarter. Brooklyn College trailing 10-3. Here's Wersing. 8 seconds to shoot for the Hawks. Ball is deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the Hawks. Brooklyn College basketball. So right now, Ivan, really neither team is in a really good groove right now. But if you're the Bulldogs, they need to start getting into one and taking advantage of Montclair mistakes.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what they want to do with a little more than 2 minutes left here in the first quarter.
Trembone, top of the key. Trembone at the top of the key, trying to get around Peterson, and does. Left wing for Clark Cornett. Driving inside, and Clark Cornett is fouled. We'll check the foul. I believe that's on McClellan. That will be her first. It is McClellan, so first foul against McClellan, third team foul on the Hawks, and that will send Lauren Clark Cornett to the free throw line.
I like what Cornett did on that possession. She saw that she didn't really have much to do there on her own as she knocks down that first free throw shot. She saw she didn't really have much to do there on her own, and she also saw that her teammates weren't really moving around as much, which is something that we've seen a lot here in the first quarter. So she said, you know what, I'll take it myself.
Peterson and Wersing have come out of the game for Montclair. Both free throws are good. Both free throws are good from Clark Cornett. We're going to get a substitution. Chanel Jamot comes back in, and Hanchin will take a seat. For Montclair, Kayla Bush has come into the game, number 23. Driving inside is Karis McClellan, and a score. Bulldogs just were not back defensively, and McClellan made the Bulldogs pay as Montclair takes a 12-5 lead. Jamot driving inside. That ball is over the rim, no good. Rebound taken by Taylor Brown. Brown to McClellan. McClellan drives on in, layup attempt, and a score. 2 consecutive baskets for Karis McClellan, and the Hawks lead 14-5. As now the scoring is picked back up. Here is Jamot, right wing. Jamot, top of the key for Rogers. Rogers handing it off to Trembone. Right wing for Clark Cornett, takes a long three, air ball. Ball's out of bounds. It'll be Montclair basketball under 2 minutes to play.
I'd like to see Brooklyn do a little more with everyone involved. You know, as we've seen here, you know, Cornett has taken the last 3 shots for the Bulldogs.
But definitely the ball movement is not there early on. And the Bulldogs have to start doing that soon. McKinnon, left wing to Taylor Brown. Top of the key for Bush. Driving inside. McClellan, a layup. Off the rim, no good. Ball's deflected out of bounds. And it's going to be ruled Brooklyn basketball. It was the last touch by Montclair. Substitution now coming in for the Bulldogs. It's going to be Grace Martinez-Espina coming in, replacing Clark Cornett.
Nice job there by Rogers. Down low, all alone, had 2 Red Hawks right there with her fighting for the rebound, but she was able to get the ball back.
Bulldogs trailing 14-5 with a minute 33 to go. Mugen across to Martinez-Espina, now to Jamot. Jamot tries to drive inside. Jamot with a layup, off the front rim, no good. A good move to the net by Jamot, but could not finish. Rebound is taken by Montclair. Here is McClellan, right wing. McClellan, top of the key for McKinnon. McKinnon hands it back to McClellan, almost lost it. Back to McKinnon, 15 to shoot. Far left corner is Sutton, fires for 3, off the rim, no good. Brooklyn College, Martinez-Espina getting the rebound. And now Espina crossing half court now. Left wing, Espina. Cross court pass to Jamot. Jamot, far right corner, Mugen fires for three, and a score! Alexandra Mugen from downtown, and the Bulldogs trail 14-8.
Nice, her second three here tonight.
When you give Mugen the open look like that, she will never miss that shot. Here comes McClellan. Here comes McKinnon down low. Layup is no good. Rebound Rogers. Hands it off to Trembone. 27 seconds. About a half a second differential between shot and game clock. Trembone drives in. Shot is no good. Jamot on the rebound. Scores! Chanel Jamot off the loose rebound. And the Bulldogs trail 14-10. Here comes McKinnon. Backs it off. Bulldogs. Montclair can hold for the final shot. It's Taylor Brown resetting things. McClellan now inside to McKinnon. 3 seconds to shoot. Here's McClellan again. McClellan fires for three. Air ball, and that will do it for the first quarter. So the Bulldogs with a very strong finish. They close out the quarter on a 5-0 run, and they trail Montclair 14-10.
Right. I love the way how the Bulldogs finished that first quarter there. I mean, you pretty much made up for everything that you didn't do throughout the rest of the first quarter. But, you know, the one thing that I would like to see Brooklyn do moving forward as we get into the second quarter here is getting back on defense. They have given Montclair some easy layups, of course. Montclair taking advantage of that, which has resulted in some fast break points for them. But, again, I'd like to see the Bulldogs get back on defense to try to prevent those fast break points.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really, if you look at it, the difference from the scoring in the quarter were those two easy baskets by McClellan. Otherwise, this game would be tied right now. So the Bulldogs, for the most part, if you take away those two mistakes on defense, the Bulldogs have hung in there with Montclair for the early going. The question now is the Bulldogs will need to make an adjustment in the second quarter. You can bet Montclair is going to make changes as well, and they're going to be changing it up a little bit in the second quarter. Bulldogs are going to have to come out ready, and we'll see if the Bulldogs can keep this run going.
Hopefully, and momentum is on their side. I mean, they ended that quarter way stronger than how the Red Hawks ended it, so I don't see why they can't carry the way they ended the first quarter into the second quarter.
We'll definitely see what happens as we get set for action here in the second quarter. Both teams are coming back onto the court. And here we are about to begin. It's going to be Mugen taking the inbound for Brooklyn. And Mugen will inbound it and hands it off to Michelle Pena back into the game for the Bulldogs. Crossing half court is Pena. Now to the right wing for Jamot. Top of the key, Hanchin. Watched on defense by McKinnon. Hands it off to Pena. Pena trying to get around McClellan. Now back to the top of the key. Handing it off to Ali Mugen. Mugen takes another three. Air ball. Mugen tried to make a little move, patting her chest. My fault, my bad. Bulldogs will go back on defense. 9:40 to go in the second quarter, and Montclair will come out with the ball now. Coach Lang trying to get his players to line up defensively. Almost a missed assignment. Here's Taylor Brown. Back to McClellan. Inside it goes to Wurzing. Wurzing lost the ball, but it went right to Taylor Brown. Brown kicks it out to Wurzing. Left wing for McKinnon. Fires a long shot off the rim. No good. Rebound kept alive by Taylor Brown. Kicks it out to the top of the key for McKinnon. Left wing and driving in is McClellan. Loses the ball on the pass. Brooklyn comes away with it. Pena crossing half court. Pena, right wing. Pena, far right corner, Mugen. Back to Pena. Pena will slow things down. Bulldogs trying to reset. Bulldogs will reset. Pena, top of the key. Pena, right wing, Mugen. Mugen inside to Hanchin. 6 seconds to shoot for Brooklyn. Pena moves in for the shot, no call, and Montclair comes away with it. Brooklyn thought they had maybe a blocking foul call. Did not happen. Here comes McClellan. Long three for Callaway off the rim. No good. Mugen gets the rebound. Here comes Pena crossing half court. Down low to Jamot. Jamot tries to make a little fake around and could not put it home. Rebound Montclair. Jamot threw that ball up into traffic, and now it's going to be Brown. Driving it inside. Left wing for McKinnon. Top of the key for McClellan. Right wing, Callaway. Callaway to Brown. Fires for three. Off the front rim. No good. Mugen gets the rebound. And we get a whistle. Foul is called on Montclair on that double team. And it looks like it's going to be Taylor Brown getting the call. That will be the first team foul of this quarter for Montclair. Brown does get the foul. Substitutions coming in. So Jamot Martinez, Espina, and Pena come out of the game. Back in comes Trembone, Deanna Rogers, and Taylor George. Here is Trembone handing it off to Taylor George. Top of the key, right wing Mugen. Mugen fires for three, off the front rim, no good. Rebound by McClellan. McClellan crossing half court. Right wing to Callaway, back to McClellan, inside to Wurzing. Wurzing, beautiful fade in and scores.
Wow.
Dominic Wurzing with a beautiful left-handed hook, and the Hawks go up by 6. Trembone, top of the key Rogers. Rogers down low to Hanchin. Hanchin with a little floater and a score. Jasmine Hanchin inside with the left hook, and the Bulldogs trail 16-12. 7:15 remaining in the second quarter. Top of the key is McClellan. Right wing it goes to McKinnon. Far right corner, McKinnon driving inside. Watched by Hanchin, and good takeaway by Deanna Rogers, but stepped out of bounds. Good defense, though, being played today by Deanna Rogers.
Right. I will admit, better defense overall here in the second quarter as opposed to what they played in the first quarter for the Bulldogs.
Callaway and Brown come out of the game. Montclair making substitutions. Top of the key now. This is Sutton, who came back into the game as well. Joining her also is Trisha Peterson. Here's a long three attempt by Peterson. It's no good. Ball is deflected off the hands of Montclair. Smart by Mugen to let it go out. Brooklyn will take possession again. 6:50 to go. Here comes Trembone, right wing. Trembone driving inside, kicks it out to Rogers. Top of the key. Rogers to the left wing for Taylor George. George tries to make a move. Top of the key for Hanchin. Hanchin gets it inside, down low to Rogers. Rogers lost the handle on the ball for a moment, but got it to Taylor George. 7 seconds to shoot. Out top to Trembone. Trembone drives in. A long shot is no good. George trying a three. Off the rim, no good. Bulldogs just got that shot off. We get a whistle, and we will get a foul called against Brooklyn on the moving inbound. It's on Trembone. That will be her second.
It did look like Taylor George kind of hesitated. She wasn't sure how much time was left on the shot clock, which did seem as though she sort of didn't shoot her form or her shot how she normally would.
Definitely was a rush shot, Ivan, no doubt about it. And here comes Brooklyn. Back on defense. Left wing is Peterson. Far right corner now it goes to Kayla Bush. Driving inside. Right wing is Peterson. Peterson, top of the key, Sutton. Sutton fires for three. Off the rim, no good. Fight for the loose ball. We have a jump ball. Possession will favor Montclair on that with 5:58 remaining. Substitution coming in for the Bulldogs. It's going to be Sarafina Carter coming into the game for the Bulldogs. And going to the bench will be Mugen. First action of the game for Sarafina Carter. Inbounding the ball will be Kayla Bush. Bush inbounds it to the top for Peterson. Peterson, right wing to Callaway. Ball is deflected out of bounds by Hanchin. It will stay Montclair basketball. 5:52 remaining in the second. Inbounding the ball is going to be Montclair. Top of the key now. This is Sutton. Sutton, left wing Callaway. Far corner for Bush. Top of the key, Sutton. 13 to shoot for the Hawks. 25 seconds. Wurzing. Wurzing will take a jumper and a score. Beautiful, beautiful perimeter shot by Dominic Wurzing. And the Hawks go up 18-12.
Nice defense by the Bulldogs there, but can't really do much about that.
There's just no defense for that shot. No way. Ball's turned over. We get a fight for the loose ball, jump ball. Possession now will go to Brooklyn College. 5:18 remaining. Brooklyn trailing 18-12. Substitution getting ready to come in for the Bulldogs. It's going to be Chanel Jamat. Rogers will take a seat. Carter will inbound behind the Bulldogs basket. Carter. Long inbound to Taylor George. Kicks it down to the right wing for Pena. Pena's going to take a long three. Off the front rim, no good. Rebound. And taken away. Beautiful takeaway by Carter. Driving in was Jamat. Carter, though, was able to get it back off of lucky bounce. Ball's turned over again. Bulldogs finally get the loose ball. Jamat scores. Beautiful, beautiful second effort by the Bulldogs as Chanel Jamat finally cleaned up the mess and put it home. Bulldogs trail 18-14. Top of the key, Sutton driving it inside. Right wing for Callaway, fires for three, shot is no good. Rebound, Kayla Bush. Bush is going to be whistled. We get a stoppage in play. I'm not sure what just happened. Might be an issue with the shot clock. Certainly could appear to be a shot clock issue. Ivan, I'm not sure of the stoppage right now, but
Right.
it seems now, all right, things have been cleared up, and it's going to be Montclair ball. Probably was, probably an issue with the clock. Here is Sutton, top of the key, 4:37 to go here in the second quarter. Montclair leading the Bulldogs 18-14. And Taylor George with a nice block. Ball was deflected out of bounds. It will stay with Montclair, 17 to shoot. It's going to be Peterson taking the inbound. Peterson inbounds it to Sutton. Sutton, right wing to Bush. Bush, right wing to Sutton. Almost lost the ball. We get a whistle, though. Foul is called on Taylor George. That will be her second.
I love what Taylor George is doing, though, putting the pressure on the offensive player, not allowing them to do whatever it is that they want to do.
But some of these foul calls have been a little tight over the last couple minutes. Substitution now as George will exit the game. Lauren Clark-Cornett comes back in. Top of the key. Ball was almost thrown away, but it was able to be held on to by Sutton, and now Sutton regains control. Sutton, top of the key, kicks it to the left wing. It's taken by Peterson. Right wing Wurzing. Far right corner, long three for Sutton. Off the front rim, no good. And it's Jamot getting the rebound. Jamot getting around that double team, and Jamot moves it in. Here to Clark-Cornett. Clark-Cornett, long cross-court pass to Serafina Carter. Kicks it down and threw it right to Wurzing, intended for Hanchin. Wurzing right there in the passing lane to intercept the pass. Top of the key. This is Sutton. Inside, left wing to Bush. Bush drives in. Shot is blocked. Bush gets her own rebound and scores.
Wow.
Unfortunate break for the Bulldogs. They got the block, but right back in came Bush to put it home. Montclair leading 20-14.
Not sure what else Jamot had to do on that defensive end there, but,
sometimes you get a lucky break.
Right.
Top of the key is Hanchin. Left wing for Serafina Carter. Carter, watched on defense by Bush, kicks it off to the left wing for Jamot. Jamot, far left corner. Jamot takes a jumper. In and out, no good. A good look there for Jamot. But it's turned over to Montclair now with 3:06 to play. Callaway driving inside, loses the ball to Hanchin. Hanchin hands it off to Pena. Pena crossing half court with it. Pena, top of the key. Pena connects to Clark-Cornett. Right wing, Clark-Cornett moves inside. Clark-Cornett on a double team.
Ooh.
Almost got that shot to fall. But a foul is called on the play. It will go against the Hawks. It's going against Kayla Bush. That will be her first foul. Second team foul on the Hawks. And it will send Clark-Cornett to the free throw line. Clark-Cornett made her first 2 free throws from the line last time and makes another, 3 out of 3.
I love how Cornett isn't afraid to draw a little contact to get to the free throw line.
Taylor Brown comes back into the game for Montclair as Callaway comes out. Bulldogs also made a sub. Second free throw from Clark-Cornett is a little too strong. And Jamot just saved it, but it went right to Montclair on that loose ball. Right wing, the ball gets deflected out of bounds. It's Brooklyn College ball. Bulldogs trail 20-15 with 2:40 remaining, and it will be their ball, taking it from the other end of the court.
Brooklyn playing better defense here, which is allowing them to chip their way back into this ball game.
Absolutely. Clark-Cornett will hand it to Trembone. Trembone, who came into the game for Pena. Trembone at the top of the key. Trembone gets it inside to Hanchin. Top of the key now. Hanchin looks for space. Just barely got it to Chanel Jamot. And then Jamot couldn't hold on to it and lost it. Here comes Montclair with it the other way. Sutton driving in. Sutton kicks it out, and it's taken away and stolen by Trembone. Trembone drives in. Jamot to Serafina Carter. Just rushed that shot on her way down. We get a whistle, and a timeout was called by Montclair just off the loose possession with 2:08 remaining in the second quarter. Bulldogs trailing 20-15.
You know, the one thing that I will say here in the second quarter is both teams look evenly matched. They both have had an answer for one another. But, again, the same way Brooklyn College ended that first quarter is the same way they've carried much of what they ended the first quarter with into the second quarter. But, with a little more than 2 minutes left here, 5-point game, 2015, Montclair's up. Brooklyn College is still very much in this game.
Yep. There's always a thing where you never want to keep a team hanging around. Now we'll see what happens, though. The Bulldogs, this has been a very low-scoring quarter so far. Brooklyn being outscored 6-5 after being outscored 14-10 in the first. So for both teams, scoring has been at a premium tonight. But that's the battle you get with two very good defensive teams. Here comes Montclair now. It's Brown. Right wing to Wurzing. Brown to Bush. Left wing. It's taken by Brown. Watched on defense by Carter. Top of the key now. It goes to McClellan. Left wing to Brown. Brown with a good double team being drawn on Brown. McKinnon, 6 seconds to shoot for Montclair. Brown drives in. Brown will take a little floater and a score. Just very coolly contested shot by Taylor Brown, and Montclair goes back up 7. Clark Cornett drives in. Layup attempt is no good. Rebound Montclair. 1:30 to go. Driving it inside is Brown, taking a long 3 and a score. And just like that, Montclair with a 5-0 run. They're up by 10. Here comes Clark Cornett down low. Clark Cornett couldn't get the ball to fall, but a foul is called. 1:18 remaining in the second quarter. Fouls against Kayla Bush. That's going to be her second foul. Third team foul. And so far, Clark Cornett has taken all the Bulldogs' free throws early on in this game.
Right, she has.
First free throw's up, and it's good. So 4 of 5 at the line now is Clark Cornett. Substitutions coming in. Carter and Jamot will take a seat. Rogers and Mugen will re-enter the game. Second free throw coming for Clark Cornett. Shot is up. And it is good. Got the friendly roll. Bulldogs trail 25-17. Minute 15 remaining in the first half. Top of the key now is Karis McClellan. Right wing, it's Brown. Top of the key, McClellan. McClellan losing the ball, and it's taken away by Trembone. Trembone. Clark Cornett. Top of the key, it's Trembone. Left wing, Clark Cornett. Out to the left wing, Rogers. Top of the key for Trembone. Trembone resets the offense. 49 seconds to go in the game in the first half. Left wing, Rogers. Rogers could not hold on to the ball, loses it. It's Montclair coming away with it. Still 11 seconds between shot and game clock. Kicking it out to the top is McClellan. Right wing, McKinnon. Losing the ball for a moment. We get a whistle. Foul is called. Brooklyn College will get called for their third team foul. We'll check the foul with 32.3 seconds. Deanna Rogers picks up the foul. Will be her first. First foul against Rogers. Third team foul. Here's a long 3 attempt. Off the rim, no good. But it's rebounded right to Montclair, and they can hold for the final shot. Clark Cornett playing good defense on McClellan. McClellan got the ball knocked out of her hand, but kept it. 19 seconds to shoot. McClellan redirecting the offense. 12 seconds and counting. 10. McClellan still looking for space. Kicks it inside to Wurzing. Right wing is Bush. Takes a long 3. Off the rim, no good. Ball deflected out of bounds. It will be Brooklyn basketball. Brooklyn is going to have to drop a Hail Mary play here with 2.1 to go. Mugen will throw it in. It's taken by Hanchin. The shot clock didn't start. Did they call a foul? I think one referee saying that the quarter is over, but the clock never moved.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised, Jonathan, if they do say that the quarter's over. I mean, it's not like you could rerun that play.
Yeah, not like in the NBA where you can just start from half court on a call like that.
Right.
So we'll see what the officials are going to be doing here. I think.
So it's not over.
No. And you know what's even better than that? The Bulldogs are going to have a little advance up the court with the possession this time. So they might have time to draw up one more play.
Oh, okay. They took off 0.6 seconds.
So they will not be from the end court. So it's going to be 6:10 off the clock. 1.5 to go in the quarter. Can the Bulldogs get off one more shot here before the half? Taylor George is now coming into the game for three-point purposes, understandably so. Clark Cornett will take a seat. Bulldogs looking for a little spot for a chance. Inbounding the ball. And did we get a foul call? No, ball was out of bounds.
Stepped out, right.
Well, you liked how they drew that up. Bulldogs did try to get to that net. Just an unfortunate break going out of bounds. That will do it for the first half as the Bulldogs close out the half trailing 25-17. Bulldogs were outscored 11-7.
Right.
So a slow, kind of a little bit of a sluggish start to the second quarter, a little bit even, but you have to like the way the Bulldogs have played so far in this game. They are staying with Montclair. They're hanging in with them. Now the key is, can they come all the way back?
Right. And as I mentioned, just a few minutes ago, I loved how the women kept that same energy that they had there in the first quarter, carried it into much of the second quarter, but unfortunately, they couldn't keep it up there to end the half here. But I will say, in that second quarter, outside of Jamaat and Cornett, we didn't really see much on the offensive end, outside of, as I mentioned, Cornett and Jamaat. What I would like to see is, we talked about this in the first quarter, try to get everyone involved. We saw Mugen knock down a couple of three-point shots. She didn't really get any good looks there in the second quarter. But nonetheless, I'd like to see, more of, everyone getting involved as opposed to just what we saw in the second quarter and as well as the first quarter.
Absolutely, and I think if you're Brooklyn, that's going to be an adjustment they must make in the second half, if they're going to get themselves back into this game. Now, I feel, if you look at the Bulldogs and you look at the turnovers that happened through much of this first half, you'd feel like, hey, if a few of those baskets went in, or if maybe the Bulldogs didn't turn it over, could this deficit be a little bit closer than 8 right now?
Right. I did talk about Jamaat, and she's had some pretty good looks, but, we saw one shot went in and out, a mid-range jumper, a couple of layups that could have easily fell for her, but, she just hasn't been able to get the ball through the basket. But, overall, it's been pretty good looks for Jamaat. But, the defense isn't bad. I will say that it could be better, of course, but the offensive end has to be better than what they've shown here in the first half.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are going to really have to change things up in the second half. Definitely want to see them attacking the net a little bit more. I would definitely like to see them just be a little more creative, move the ball around, as you said, a little bit more. And the stagnation was what we saw a lot of early in the game. Bulldogs were standing around too much early, and one player was taking the shot. Everybody was just kind of standing with their backs, their hands behind their back. You're not going to win many games, and it's not going to succeed throughout a game if you keep doing that. Right,
exactly. And we did see Cornett, try to break that as far as going to the basket on her own. And, if I'm not mistaken, she's making most of her free throws but one, correct? So, perhaps her other teammates could sort of follow her lead in the second half and go to the paint, themselves.
As we now just received the stats, and some of these numbers are a little startling. One of them is rebounds. Montclair with 23 rebounds through 2 quarters so far. Bulldogs only 9.
Right, and we talked about that prior to tonight's game. We did say that Montclair had quite a few players who are 6 feet and over. Unfortunately, we don't have much size here in Brooklyn College,
no, we don't.
And that's why we see such a huge differential when it comes to rebounds. 23 for Montclair, and as you mentioned, 9 for Brooklyn College.
So far, it's been Mugen leading the way with 6 points. Clark Cornett with 5, and all 5 of them were on free throws. Bulldogs are 5 from 6, and Clark Cornett took every single one of them. The Bulldogs, though, from the field have struggled. 5 of 25 from the field, only 20%. Montclair is shooting just under 40%. Not having gotten as many shots as, pretty much gotten about the same shots and doing good things with those shots, and that's the difference why Montclair's ahead right now.
Right, exactly. And, you did mention the fact that they have taken just about the same amount of shots, but, this is not what you want to see. For a half, 5 for 25, 2 for 10. As we know, the women, as of late, they have struggled from beyond the arc, and, we talk a lot about them relying on it, even when it isn't falling for them. But, you've got to do something else. There's no way you can finish a half by only landing 5 of your shots.
And I'm sure if you're Coach Lang, that's what he's probably telling his team right now in the locker room. This has to be, things have to change in the second half, and we'll see if the Bulldogs will make that adjustment. But right now, we're going to take a short little break. We'll step aside for a moment. When we come back, we'll give you our thoughts for the second half to come. We'll hopefully get an interview with one of the Bulldog assistant coaches here on YouTube.com, your home for everything Brooklyn. We'll be back right after this.
I'm surprised they weren't able to get someone. Because, you know, the games that I've called for the men, they usually send someone up for the half.
Yeah. Well, they didn't do that again.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get, see if I can get one of the coaches. Probably will be like
Or a player, whoever, you know.
well, I usually like to get the player. Usually I like to get the players at the end. That makes up to you.
Right.
Want to get a player for half? It's certainly something that could be done. Right.
I mean, at this point, no, I agree with you. It's always good to get a player at the end. But at this point, I don't think we're going to get anything.
We'll see. I say give it about a few minutes. Players will come back on the court. We go back on the air. Let's say we go back on the air in about 5 more minutes. All right? 5 minutes. Sounds good. I really wouldn't want to say we should do everything. said Gary was going to get some. Sure?
Yeah, it's all right.
No problem. All right, let's do this. Okay. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe. All right. Okay, just 1 second.
How do you spell my name? C-A-R-I. Okay. Yeah, and then my last name is G-E-H-R-I-N-G. N-G. I have to go down really soon, though. I'm just
Okay.
letting you guys know.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'm live at the West Quad Gymnasium. I'm joined by the assistant coach of the Women's Bulldogs, Caroline Gehring. Coach, good start for your team early, only down 8 points to Montclair. Some mistakes on turnovers. Talk to me about that first half.
Yeah, I think that...
A little closer. Oops, sorry.
It's okay. I think that we knew that Montclair was going to come out and put up a good fight because they're always a good team every year. So I just think that offensively we need to take care of the boards, take care of the ball, and then we need to go for boards. They out-rebounded us by a lot, so we need to really box out and focus on going for rebounds.
Do you think the team has to be a little more creative moving the ball around and not too much stagnant on the offensive side?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Our guards need to look to attack the basket more, and when the defense draws in, we need to pick it out to our shooters. We haven't really been doing that in the first half, so we talked about it in the second half, and we're hoping that our guards will be more aggressive going into the second half.
Coach Gehring, thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
As I bring Ivan back onto the microphone, that was assistant coach Caroline Gehring talking to us about the first half. And, well, Ivan, the points were made very clearly by her. The Bulldogs do have to change it up, be a little more creative on the offensive side. The stagnant play was there. It was very evident. The Bulldogs have to clean some of those mistakes up.
Right. I did also hear her mention the fact that she'd like to see the Bulldogs box out more because of the big differential between, what Montclair did on the offensive. Well, sorry, not the offensive, on the glass as opposed to what Brooklyn has done. But yeah, I do agree with what she said, and one thing that you do want to do here as we get started with the second half is getting everyone involved, not much stagnant, movement. We'll see what happens.
Well, the Bulldogs did a good job keeping the high scorers kind of off the scoreboard. They've kept Callaway to 3 points. McKinnon only has 4 points. Taylor Brown is leading the way right now for Montclair with 10. So if you're the Bulldogs, you like that you took the ball away from their main scorers. Can you continue that for the final two? That's going to be a very good question, and we're going to definitely find that out as the latter half of this game continues. As we are about set to get back to the action here, we're about to start the third quarter from the West Quad Gymnasium. I'm Jonathan Pariente alongside my broadcast partner Ivan Morabel. Fans, immediately after this game, the men's Bulldogs will be in action. They will take on the William Patterson Pioneers immediately following this game at 7:30. But back to the action we go here for Brooklyn, and it's going to be Montclair with the ball first. It's going to be Sutton at the half-court line, watched by Taylor George. Both teams going back to their regular five. Top of the key, McKinnon. McKinnon looks for some space, hands it off to the right wing side for Sutton. Right wing for Callaway. Far right corner is Sutton. Sutton, right wing Callaway, 7 seconds to shoot. Here's McKinnon trying to get around. Left wing to Brown, fires for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, though, right to Wurzing. Layup attempt is no good, and the Bulldogs come away with the loose ball. And there is Mugen, all alone. Mugen scores. Beautiful home run pass to Mugen, and the Bulldogs take advantage of the early miss and go up 20, down 25-19. Top of the key, this is Taylor Brown now, right wing, watched by Pena. Kicks it over to the far right corner for Sutton. Top of the key, McKinnon. McKinnon back to Sutton. Sutton, good defense by Pena. Top of the key, it goes to Brown. Brown, 7 seconds. Long three for Wurzing. Off the rim, no good. Rebound, though, is over the rim and no good. Ball stays in possession, and they call a shot clock violation as Coach Karen Harvey can't understand it. Did that last shot look like it hit the rim to you, Ivan?
Right. That's one thing that I guess didn't happen, which is resulted into a shot clock violation.
Well, for the Bulldogs, you'll take the breaks any way they come. Bulldogs will take possession as it's going to be Pena now at the top of the key. Pena directs the offense. 8:34 to go in the third quarter. Jamat driving inside. Jamat with a floater and a score. Beautiful move by Chanel Jamat. And the Bulldogs quickly shave 4 points on the board and are down 4.
Nice way to start on the offensive end here in the second half.
We get a whistle and we get a foul called on that possession. We'll check the foul. It's going to be against Brooklyn. I believe they're going to get Jamat for this one. Hanshin, excuse me. So Hanshin's going to get this foul. First foul for Hanshin, first team foul with 8:20 to go. Brooklyn College trailing 25-21. McKinnon double teamed, kicks it out to the left wing. Here's Wurzing. Sutton threw up a pass, no good. Wurzing gets the rebound. The ball did not hit the rim, so the shot clock did not reset. Callaway, right wing for Brown. Brown drives in, shot and a score. Just a beautiful shot by Taylor Brown, and Montclair takes a 27-21 lead. Left wing, this is Pena. Pena drives inside, layup off the rim, no good. Oh, Jamat was right there and puts it home. Jamat on the loose rebound from Pena, and the Bulldogs trail 27-23.
As we mentioned, Jamat did a lot of the scoring along with Cornette in the second quarter, but here she is in the third quarter.
Well, Ivan, we're definitely seeing a different energy from this Bulldogs team early. Way different from what we saw early on in the first quarter. And now the Bulldogs swarming defense. Right wing, Callaway inside, kicks it out to Brown. Here is Wurzing. We get a whistle, and a offensive 3-second violation is called against Montclair. And now Brooklyn, with the momentum on their side, will get possession right back.
I've got to say, they do look like a very completely team here in the third quarter.
Here's Pena, and Montclair playing a full court pressure. They get it inside to Jamat, getting around it. Jamat moves in. Jamat, oh, beautiful fake, and Jamat, oh, could not put it home. Jamat, though, got the rebound. The ball was out of bounds. Who was last to touch it? I think they're going to say it's still Brooklyn basketball, and it is. Mugen will inbound with 7:05 to go in the third. Left wing, Pena. Pena. Offensive foul is called. I didn't see much of an offensive move at all there. Jamot got called for it. It was away from the ball. So a bad turnover by the Bulldogs with the momentum on their side.
Must have been an illegal screen there.
Yeah.
Jamot.
And it's going to be a foul. Jamot's first, second team foul for the Bulldogs. 6:52 to go here in the third quarter. Right wing is Callaway. Callaway inside to Wurzing. Wurzing layup and scores. Dominic Wurzing using good presence down low, and the Hawks go back up by 6. Here's Pena. Down to Taylor George. George drives in. Layup shot no good. Jamot on the rebound, scores. And there's Chanel Jamot down low in the post, right where there. And the Bulldogs trail 29-25. Inbounding it goes to Brown, left wing. Here's a long shot and a score by Alex McKinnon. And Montclair, just like that, goes up 7. Well, Montclair's now had an answer on the last 2 Bulldog baskets, leading 32-25 with 6:04 remaining. Here comes Jamot. Jamot tries to fake, 13 seconds. Jamot took a shot, it was blocked. And here comes Montclair, and almost losing the ball for a moment was Brown. Moving in Callaway and scores. Bulldogs just did not hustle back, and Callaway was able to put it home. And now Montclair has regained a 9-point lead. 34-25, and we have a timeout. I believe Brooklyn called this timeout. They did. 30-second charge timeout. So Ivan, very quickly how things changed. Bulldogs cut the deficit down to 4, and suddenly Montclair ripped off a 9-0 run.
Right, and that's been the problem for the Bulldogs for most of tonight for the Bulldogs. They haven't been able to maintain the way they played here in the start of the third quarter for much of the game, which is why they're down by 9. But one thing that I would like to see is, credit to Jamot. She's doing it all on her own for the right reasons because she has made most of her shots here in the second half. But, again, I'd like to see everyone else get involved because if Jamot is being well guarded, of course you'd like to pass the ball to someone else. Well,
we'll see what the Bulldogs come up with here. Bulldogs are going to have to get back into this right now. And here's Mugen, and we'll inbound it to Kayla Trembone, who checked into the game, along with Deanna Rogers and just 2. So George will drive in. George, double team, inside to Rogers. Shot was blocked, and Montclair comes away with it now. Here comes Brown. Here comes Sutton, inbounding it to Brown. Down low, Wurzing, layups, scores. And Dominic Wurzing once again attacking the Bulldogs down low. And now Montclair leads by 11. Left wing is Taylor George. Top of the key for Hanchin. Right wing it goes to Trembone. Trembone kicks it out to Rogers. Rogers, long cross-court pass to George. George moves outside, 7 seconds to shoot. George kicks it to Rogers. Rogers, again, shot was blocked, and the ball gets taken back by the Hawks. And driving in, down low, McKinnon, layup, no good, blew the layup attempt, but Montclair did get the rebound back. Here's a long 3, off the rim, no good. Rogers had it, but went out of her hand. McKinnon resets. And almost losing the ball there was Sutton. Right wing to McClellan. Here's a long 3 for Brown. It's no good. Mugen the rebound. Brooklyn College comes away with it now, coming the other way. Down low to George, layup, and a score. Beautiful down low pass to the left low post. Taylor George puts it home. Bulldogs trail 36-27. Bulldogs getting ready to make a couple substitutions. Wurzing. Here is McClellan. Down low, McKinnon. Shot was thrown up, no good. Foul was called on the play. We'll check the foul. It's going to be the Bulldogs' third team foul. Second foul against Jasmine Hanchin.
The one thing that the Bulldogs didn't do a good job of in the first half is fast break points. And we've seen much of that here in the second half.
First free throw from McKinnon is good. We're going to get substitutions. So George and Mugen come out of the game, and now Clark Cornett and Serafina Carter come in. Free throw is up, and it's in and out, no good. So 1-1 for Montclair. Bulldogs trail 37-27. Here comes Trembone. Trembone hands it off to Carter. Left low post. Carter harassed there by McClellan. McClellan got knocked down. McClellan a little slow to get up. And the ball was thrown away. And it's going to be Montclair ball.
Terrible possession there by the Bulldogs. I mean, you had 5-on-4 there with one Hawk on the ground, but unfortunately Brooklyn just wasn't able to get a basket.
And we're going to have substitutions again for the Bulldogs. Rogers and Hanchin come out of the game. And we're going to see Alex Arenas coming into the game for the first time for Brooklyn. Here comes Montclair. This is Peterson. Inside to Wurzing. Wurzing. Here's a long three for Sutton and a score. 3-point shot for Sutton. And Montclair now has their largest lead. They lead 13, 40-27. Jamot resetting the offense. Back to Trembone. Trembone moves inside to Jamot. Jamot driving in. Hard shot to the rim, but no good. And it's rebounded and taken by Sutton. Sutton drives in, blocked, and taken away by Trembone. Trembone will get it down to Jamot. Jamot somehow is able to get back, but the ball's stripped away. And now you see Montclair, Ivan, imposing their will on defense.
Right.
Wurzing kicks it out to McClellan. Left wing to Peterson. Long three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound Carter. Bulldogs trying to get back into this here. Carter left wing driving inside. Carter stripped. Arenas, though, was able to keep it. We get a whistle. Technical foul was called.
Wow.
I think they're calling it against Brooklyn? Or is it against Montclair? I cannot tell. I saw the referee put up the T sign for a technical foul. They're calling it on Carter. Oh, I don't know, Ivan, about that. Carter was knocked down to the ground. I mean, what was she supposed to do?
Right. I mean, I did see her say something to the ref, but by the look of it, you know, it didn't seem as if she insulted him in any way.
Well, the referees, I guess, saw it as unsportsmanlike conduct. So it's going to be a technical free throw, two of them, and possession Montclair. Free throw is up from McKinnon and makes both of them. So both technical shots are good, and Montclair now goes up 15 with 2:27 to go. Carter thought she was fouled, and now she's going to have to exit the game. One more technical, and she's out of the game. 2:27 remaining in the third quarter. Brooklyn College trailing 42-27. Officials are still talking things over and really just trying to settle everybody down here. But meanwhile, all players come back. Brooklyn is going to actually take the possession, so it will not be the and possession on the Tech. Supposedly not. Coach Lang is calling a timeout.
Right.
Right now, the Bulldogs really kind of need one right now as Montclair has come storming back after the Bulldogs cut this deficit to to as little as 4. And right now, Montclair has outscored the Bulldogs 17-10.
Right. You know, one thing that the both of us did discuss during the halftime report was the fact that we did want to see the Bulldogs drive to the basket a bit more, which is what they have done here in the third quarter. However, the height that comes with the Red Hawks, it's showing here in the second half.
Yeah, and the Bulldogs now have to really start getting themselves out of this little hole, and they're going to have to start chipping away at this deficit right now, whether you like it or not. You cannot, if you're the Bulldogs, you cannot fall behind any further right now, and Montclair doesn't usually let many teams back into games when they have a lead like this. So the Bulldogs really are now have their backs against the wall, and they're going to have to find a way to dig themselves out.
Right, exactly. And one thing that, you know, we have seen a lot of is Jamot. I mean, she's probably has been the only answer for the Bulldogs here in the third quarter, but haven't really seen much on the offensive end outside of Jamot, though.
Jamot's played well, no doubt. I mean, this is who you have to give the ball to when you are attacking the paint down low. But now the other problem is too many shots now the Bulldogs are taking now have either been blocked or thrown right into coverage.
Right.
And you said it, of course, about the height of this Montclair team. That's beginning to show now. Back to the game we go. 2:22 to go in the third quarter. This is Hanchin. Top of the key, Jamot. Jamot hands it back to Trembone. Top of the key. Oh, Clark Cornett just got it back. Almost lost it. Good move by Clark Cornett. Takes a three off the front of the rim. No good. Mugen slightly deflected it. Deflected out of bounds. Last touched by McClellan. So it will stay Brooklyn basketball with 2:05 remaining. Mugen will take the inbound. Mugen trying to look for someone open, and will give it to Hanchin. Now it's going to be Hanchin handing it off to Trembone. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Brooklyn trailing 42-27. Top of the key goes Serafina Carter. Mugen will take a long three and a score. Oh, what a shot by Mugen from downtown and a big three. Bulldogs trail 42-30. 11 points now for Mugen in the game. 1:40 remaining. Crossing half court is McClellan. McClellan watched by Trembone. McClellan at the left wing. McClellan with 1:30 to go. Right wing it goes to McKinnon. Top of the key, McClellan. McClellan lost the ball for a moment but kept alive to McKinnon. 8 seconds to shoot for the Hawks. Kicks out to the top of the key for Peterson. And Jamat almost came away with the steal, but Wurzing puts it home. Just an unfortunate break. The Bulldogs thought they had the steal. The ball just deflected right back to Montclair, and Wurzing buried it. 12 points for Wurzing. 1:04 to go. Bulldogs trailing by 14. Trembone traveled. First travel of the game. It's called on the Bulldogs at an inopportune time. 1:01 to go here in the third quarter, and Montclair with a 14-point lead. Michelle Pena is going to come back into the game, replacing Trembone. Inbounding the ball now will be McKinnon. McKinnon. And it's turned over to Clark Cornett. Hey, gets it to Mugen. Mugen takes another three off the front rim, no good. We get a whistle, and a loose ball foul is called against Montclair, which is only their first foul of this quarter. It's on McKinnon. That will be her second foul. Taylor George is going to check back into the game now for Clark Cornett. We get a whistle. Timeout is called by Montclair with 54.9 seconds remaining. So for the Bulldogs, that was a big wake-me-up with that three by Mugen to get them back into this. And the Bulldogs now will get possession here, trying to, again, cut into this deficit. But right now, if you're the Bulldogs, you still have a long way to go here and only one more quarter left to play.
Right. I love the fact that Mugen did actually make that three-point shot, because we mentioned that Jamat was really the only answer that they've had here in the third quarter. But, again, Brooklyn is not going to find their way back into this game unless they go on a run, which is something that we haven't seen him do here tonight.
Well, if you count the brief spurt they got off to start the third, that's been really about it.
Right.
And then Montclair just literally took all the momentum away in the last couple minutes. So back to the action we go here. Bulldogs trying to chip away at this 14-point deficit. Mugen will inbound, has to hurry, gets it to Jasmine Hanchin. Hanchin drives in, was blocked, and the ball's turned over. Bringing the ball up now the other way. This is Sutton losing the ball, deflects out of bounds. Last touched by Brooklyn. Montclair ball.
We've seen Brooklyn get blocked one too many times here in the third quarter.
You're starting to see, though, again, the size of this Montclair team has really kind of begun to showcase what it can do. And it's why they're a very good defensive team. We get a whistle, and are they calling Pena for just a slight touch?
Wow. Are they serious?
I do not understand that at all. What is Pena supposed to do? Just trying to put a hand on a defender?
It's a simple hand check. Wow, unbelievable.
Well, you like to say touchy calls, Ivan. That's probably one of the touchiest little calls I've ever seen.
Right.
And I thought the Lakers were the undignitaries of bad calls last night. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, back to the action we go here. The ball's inside to Hanchin. Up to Jamat. We get a whistle. Offensive foul called against Brooklyn.
Now, was that called on Jamat or?
It is Jamat. It's her second. I don't know what you can call an offensive foul there on it. Definitely Bulldogs are getting squeezed with these fouls over the last two possessions. Here comes Wurzing driving in. Wurzing, count that and a foul. So that shot is okay to go in. I I'm lost right now, Ivan. I'm really lost.
Yeah, I mean, the refs have pretty much controlled this game for the last, I would say, minute and a half.
Free throw coming for Wurzing. Shot is up, and it is good. And now Montclair goes up 17. Bulldogs will hold for the final shot, presumably. And it will be, Bulldogs have to get it out, by the way, before 8 seconds. And the Bulldogs can't do it. 10-second violation was called as Montclair just played swarming defense.
Terrible way to end this third quarter. Not very good by the Bulldogs.
And it didn't really help with a couple of the calls that have gone against the Bulldogs in the last minute, including the technical on Serafina Carter. Inbounding the ball in Montclair, right wing, a long three, off the front rim, no good. And that'll do it for the third quarter as Montclair closes out the quarter with a 22-13 lead in the third. Brooklyn College trailing 47-30.
I mean, you know, you want to say that the Bulldogs didn't play great defense there to end the third quarter, but with the amount of calls that were called against him, I mean, I don't blame you. You know, when you're on the court and as a player, I can imagine that sort of, you know, could ruin the momentum for not only yourself but for your team as a whole.
Right. So now if you're Brooklyn, I mean, you're down 17 points with 10 minutes to go here in this game. We're going into the fourth quarter, and Bulldogs are just going to have to find something to click in the fourth. Otherwise, Bulldogs could be in danger of losing their fourth game in a row.
Honestly, the only two things that may help the Bulldogs here as we get closer to the start of the fourth quarter is going on a run and playing better defense. I don't really see anything else that is going to help the Bulldogs here, you know, with trying to fight their way back into this ball game.
Definitely concerns if you are Brooklyn College right now. And fans, we remind you, after this game, tune in for the second game of our doubleheader. The men's Bulldogs will take on the William Patterson University Pioneers right here from the West Quad Gymnasium. And also, the Bulldogs, the women's Bulldogs, will close out 2018 in 2 weeks. They will go on the road for the first time to California to take on the Whittier College Poets from Whittier College for a special 2-game tournament. Bulldogs looking to turn things around, though, here as we're back to the action in the fourth quarter, and it's Pena taking possession. Pena crossing half court. Pena, the top of the key, now moves inside, left low post. Layup attempt is up and no good. We get a whistle. Foul is called. It will go against the Hawks. We'll check the foul with 9:48 remaining. Foul is going to go against McClelland. That will be her second foul. And it will be 2 free throws coming for Pena. Shot is up, and it is good. Bulldogs are 6 of 7 from the line. That's the first different free throw shooter to go to the line for the Bulldogs tonight. Second free throw from Pena is up, and it is good. Got the friendly roll. Bulldogs trail 47-32. Still down 15 with 9:48 remaining. Montclair will inbound. Almost lost possession there was Bush. So Kayla Bush now is checked into the game for the third for this final quarter. Top of the key is Bush. Bush watched by Jamat. And the ball is thrown away. A bad pass by Bush. And the Bulldogs take possession. And if you're Brooklyn, this is where they have to take advantage of turnovers right here.
What better way to start the fourth quarter than this way?
Here comes Pena. Pena crossing half court now. Kicks it out to Jamat. Jamat moving inside. Jamat, right wing to Taylor George. George fires for 3 and a score! Taylor George from downtown. And the Bulldogs trail 47-35. So a good 5-0 run to start the quarter for Brooklyn, as the Bulldogs are now going to play full court pressure to try to slow down Montclair. And the ball was almost turned over by Brown and just got it off. Oh, a trip. No foul was called. And again, now you're seeing some sloppy ball handling by the Hawks, as the Bulldogs now are tightening it up on defense. Callaway, left wing for McKinnon. McKinnon driving inside. McKinnon with a shot and gets the friendly roll. I mean, not much you can do there if you're Brooklyn. That was just a great shot by McKinnon, and Montclair goes back up 14. It just seems like every time the Bulldogs have gone on a run, Montclair has had some kind of answer right back. Here comes Jamot at the right point. Will take a jump shot off the rim, no good. It's rebounded by Callaway. Lost the handle for a moment, but keeps possession. Callaway moving inside. Gets it in, and a good block on Bush by the Bulldogs, and it'll come away the other way. Here is Pena. Pena driving inside, but lost control. It's taken back and put home by Jasmine Hanchin. Brooklyn trailing 49-37.
You have to like what we're seeing here by the Bulldogs here in the fourth quarter.
And the ball was turned over. Oh, and Hanchin knocked into McClellan. Second time McClellan's gone down. And McClellan gets back up and takes possession here. McClellan, left wing Callaway. Callaway takes a long three. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound Pena. Brooklyn College will drive. Here comes George, driving in and a score. Taylor George taking it to the hoop. And the Bulldogs trail by 10. 49-39. The clock is still running. And it's inbounded to Callaway. Callaway drives in. Callaway on the drive. Count it, plus a foul.
What a way to kill Brooklyn's rally there. But, you know, as I mentioned just a minute ago, you have to love the energy that Brooklyn has came into the fourth quarter with.
Definitely. Foul's called on Jamot. That is now her third foul. Pena will come out of the game, and Jamot and Trembone will enter. Meanwhile, it's a and one for Montclair, so Callaway will take the free throw. Callaway fires up the shot, and it's good. Callaway knocks down the free throw. We have a substitution coming in for Montclair. It's going to be it's Sutton coming back into the game, replacing Callaway. Bulldogs trailing 52-39. Pena will hand it off to Chanel Jamot. Jamot left wing George. George drives inside. Gets it into Jamot. Layup attempt is no good. Blocked. Deflected out of bounds. Last touched by Brooklyn. It will be Montclair ball. Brown will inbound it to McKinnon. And taking the ball away and putting it home was Trembone. Beautiful steal and off the feed and puts it home.
Nice defense.
Bulldogs trailing 52-41. And again, Bulldogs going right back to the full court pressure. And Montclair has to get it out. They have to do it quick and just beat the 10 seconds. Inside to the net and can't put it home, but kept alive. Shot blocked, and Bulldogs take possession. It's handed off to Trembone, crossing half court. Trembone kept alive by Grace Martinez Espina, but threw it right to Wurzing. It's stolen away. Bad pass, but to McKinnon took it away. Bad pass by Grace Martinez. And now it's 6:20 to go. Bulldogs trailing by 11. Wurzing had a pass but blocked, but kept alive. Brown driving in and scores. And Taylor Brown just with a great scoop with the left hand. And Montclair goes back up 13. Crossing half court, Trembone lost the handle on it, but it was last touched by McClellan. It will stay Bulldogs ball, down 54-41. Trisha Peterson now enters the game, replacing McKinnon. Taylor George will inbound. Clark Cornett also has come into the game, replacing Jamot. Rogers has come in, replacing Martinez Espina. Top of the key is Trembone. Trembone. Here's George for three. Air ball. Bulldogs trying to get the loose ball, cannot. And Montclair's going to come the other way. Crossing half court, this is Taylor Brown. Left wing to Peterson. Top of the key is Brown. Brown hands it off to McClellan. McClellan watched by Trembone. McClellan kicks it inside of the left for Wurzing. Wurzing, 4 seconds. Wurzing drives it in and got the friendly rolling in.
Wow, we've seen that quite a few times here from Montclair.
Montclair goes up 56-41. Hands it off to Clark Cornett. Right wing to George. 5:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs trailing by 15. George driving inside. Layup is blocked, but a foul. Second team foul against Montclair with 5:04 to go. Sutton picks up her first foul, and Taylor George will go to the line for 2 shots.
Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs to crawl back into this game.
First free throw is good. I got the friendly roll in. Bulldogs trailing 56-42. Alexandra Mugen will check back into the game for Hanchin. Second free throw coming for George. George, one of the top free throw shooters on this Bulldog team. Second free throw's up, and George makes a pair. Bulldogs now trail by 13, 5:04 remaining. Inbounding the ball and almost had the ball stolen. Oh, Trembone almost ran into Rogers, stays on her feet. It's McClellan now with the ball. Trembone on her there. McClellan, right wing. McClellan hands it off to Sutton. Sutton lost the ball for a moment, and a backcourt violation is called. Brooklyn ball. Brooklyn playing aggressive defense, forcing that turnover. And with 4:47 to play, Brooklyn will take possession once again.
Now's the time for the Bulldogs to carry this into the very end of this fourth quarter here, but you have to have some sort of consistency from here on out.
Yes. Trembone will take possession now. Trembone at the top of the key. Trembone looks for some space. Trembone almost traveled, and she did travel. Trembone was just trying not to move her feet, but got caught in between. Montclair ball. Inbounding the ball now to McClellan. McClellan crosses half court with it now and hands it off to the left for Sutton. Sutton inside to Wurzing. Wurzing kicks it out to the left wing. Down low to Wurzing again. Wurzing almost lost it but kept alive to Sutton. Sutton now down to Wurzing. Inside to McClellan. Drives in and a score by Peterson. And Montclair goes back up 15 with 4:07 to play in the game. Left wing for Trembone. Trembone backs away. McClellan on her there. Trembone, 17 to shoot. Top of the key for Mugen. Mugen, right wing for Clark Cornett. Clark Cornett drives inside. Shot is blocked and taken by McClellan. McClellan crossing half court. Oh, McClellan almost lost it. And again, McClellan went down for the third time, but puts it back into the net and put home by Brown. And Montclair just now running away with this now, up 17 with 3:28 to play. It's George trying to slow things down. Whistle, timeout is called by Coach Alex Lang. And right now the ball just keeps bouncing and bouncing Montclair's way. And the Bulldogs just have not had an answer. They trail by 17. Right. 3:25 left.
Now, a little more, as you mentioned, 3:25 left here in the fourth quarter. Now is the time. I mean, if you want to do something, now is the time to do anything and everything. Hopefully Coach Lang could, get the woman involved here as we get closer to the end of this ball game, and not much has worked in favor of the woman.
Yeah, it's just been, again, it seems like there were lapses where the Bulldogs and Montclair looked like was letting the Bulldogs have a chance to get back in, but the Bulldogs were not able to take advantage. And since then, Montclair really has kind of turned up the heat since.
Right. The women did start, the Bulldogs, I would say, actually did start the fourth quarter on a beautiful run, but Montclair had an answer for it.
Right. And now it's Brooklyn College ball. Top of the key is Pena. Bulldogs trailing 60-43. Pena drives in, takes a jumper. It's no good. Jamad on the rebound could not put it home either, and it's taken back by the Hawks. Crossing with it is Taylor Brown. Brown, top of the key, hands it off to McClellan. McClellan, left wing for Peterson. Peterson down low. Ball is stripped away by Pena, but lost back to Peterson. Peterson will take a three and scores. And now Montclair for the Hawks. Everything's falling into the net now for Montclair. They lead by 20, 2:40 remaining. Jamot tries to drive inside. Jamot with a shot, scores off the backboard and in. And Brooklyn now trails 63-45 with 2:30 to go. Montclair will throw a long pass all the way down. Layup, no good. Mugen gets it. Montclair had the long home run pass, didn't take advantage. And it's almost thrown there, but George was able to pick it up. Down to Jamaat, down low, layup. Can't get it in, but a foul is called. That will be against Wurzing. That will be her first. So Wurzing gets called for her first foul. And right now it's been a dominant run. Wurzing's led the way with 16 points. Taylor Brown with 15. For the Bulldogs, you have 12 from Jamaat, 11 from Mugen, and 9 from Taylor George. First free throw from Jamaat is good. Got the friendly roll. Bulldogs trail 63-46. Kayla Bush is coming back into the game, replacing Wurzing. 2:13 to go.
Jamaat has had a tough time for most of tonight. Down low trying to make layups, but it's good to see that she knocked down the first free throw.
Second free throw coming for Jamaat. Shot is up, and it is no good as Montclair came away with it. Brooklyn came up with the steal. George to Mugen. Long cross court to Pena. Pena tries to drive inside. Shot is off, is no good. Jamaat getting the rebound and is fouled. So the Bulldogs now will get another 2 free throw attempts here. Montclair just picked up their 4th team foul. Third team foul on that's the 3rd foul against McClellan. So back to the line again. Bulldogs just trying to stop the clock and chip away. First free throw coming for Jamaat is up. It's good. Bulldogs trail 63-47. Minute 58 to go. Second free throw coming up for Jamaat. 14 points for Chanel Jamaat tonight. Second free throw is up, and Jamaat hits a pair. Bulldogs trail 63-48. Bulldogs again back to full court pressure here against Montclair. George trying to stay with Sutton and gets it away. Here comes Peterson back to McClellan. McClellan, left wing. McClellan drives inside. Right wing, here's Sutton for 3 and a score. And once again, Montclair just answers with a basket right back. Mugen will fire a long 3. Off the rim, no good. Taken away now by Brown. A minute 29 to go. Montclair leading by 18. Left wing, McClellan almost lost it. We got a foul called. It's against Taylor George. That will be her 3rd team personal foul. 3rd team foul against the Bulldogs. And unless things change, Ivan, the Bulldogs are in danger of losing their 4th consecutive game after they started 3-0.
Right, a minute and 19 left here before this ball game is over. And
Bulldogs are making a full sub, so all their starters will exit. And now we're going to see Teitler, we're going to see Grace Martinez-Espina, we're going to see Arenas, we're going to see Trembone, we're going to see Tiffany Lung. Excuse me, we're going to see Shaptofovic into the game, excuse me. Trying to make a move now. This is McClellan. Minute 6 to go in the game. Rebound, layup is no good. A foul is called. 3rd team foul against the Bulldogs with a minute 4 to go. Kelly Teitler is going to get called for that. Teitler, one of the tallest women on this team, 6'3", freshman from Onteora Central High School. First free throw is off the rim, no good. Minute 4 remaining, Bulldogs trailing 66-48. Second free throw coming up for Bush. It's up, and it's good. 1 out of 2 at the line for Montclair. Bulldogs will take possession. Crossing half court with it now. This is Trembone. Trembone kicks it out to Lung, to Shaptofovic. Excuse me, the ball's turned over. Bad pass. 50 seconds to go in the game. Montclair crossing half court with it now, and this is McClellan. Left wing, it's Bush. And that ball is thrown away out of bounds. Brooklyn ball. Kelly Smith has come into the game for the first time for Montclair tonight. And now Arenas will enter the game for Brooklyn. 40 seconds to go in the game. Brooklyn College. Long 3 attempt off the rim. It didn't even hit the rim. It's an air ball. West Quad has gone completely silent here, Ivan. And Brooklyn College trailing by 19 points. About a little over a second differential between shot and game clock. 24 seconds. Kicks it out. Long 3 attempt. Off the rim, no good. Brooklyn College will get the rebound. Brooklyn can hold for the last shot. It's Shaptofovic. She'll take a long 3. Air ball. Rebounded by Lung. Puts in the layup and a score. Brooklyn College will crack 50 points. But that is how this game will end. Tough loss for the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. The momentum had momentum at times, but Montclair just had an answer each time on the other end. And the Bulldogs fall to the Hawks tonight, 67-50.
Right. The Bulldogs, for, most of tonight's ball game against the Hawks, they had their backs against the wall, I would say. And the moment that, as you mentioned, they did go on a little run, it did seem as though Montclair definitely had an answer for every single thing that the Bulldogs had to offer.
Yeah, I go back to the third quarter in particular. That was really where Montclair took control of the game. They put up 23 points in the third quarter alone. The Bulldogs only managed to crack 13. And then if you go back to it in the final quarter, again, just the Bulldogs got off to a good run to start the fourth, but once again, Montclair just turned the Jets on and just took their game up a notch, and the Bulldogs were not able to respond.
Right, exactly. And, that is one thing that I'm sure all of us here did want to see is the Bulldogs come out with that same exact energy that they had to start the fourth quarter. But unfortunately, they did leave Montclair open from 3. They weren't getting back on defense. And, again, Chamat did most of the scoring for the Bulldogs in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was just a rough end of the game. Brooklyn was coming off that very tough loss to St. Joseph's the other day, 3 days ago. And, that you can probably say was the lighter opponent out of who the Bulldogs had been facing over the past, really since December 1st. December 1st, they played Amherst. They had to go a week later to play Cabrini. They had to then play St. Joseph's, and then they have played Montclair tonight. And the year doesn't end just yet. They have to play another 2 weeks in California against Whittier and Chapman University, both of whom also are very strong programs. And the Bulldogs are going to have to find a way to get the winning back on their end again. It's just been a struggle over the past 2 weeks.
Right. And earlier today, you did mention how well the women started the season, 3-0. Obviously, the complete opposite, losing their last 4 games. But the thing that really stands out to me is the women lost 4 games all of last year. And, we're a little more than a month into the season, and they're already at 4 losses.
Yeah, and that could play a very, very big role as we get to the latter half of the season. As you know and as I know, these games don't get any easier. The season only gets harder as we go. And the Bulldogs are going to have to find a way to get through this little bump in the road and get back on the winning side.
Right.
We'll see what happens. Bulldogs will have about 2 weeks to get back into things, and we'll see if maybe they can get off to a start for 2018 to finish off the year in California. We'll see if maybe a little change in scenery might do things. But right now, let's look at the scores very quickly. The stats from today's game. Bulldogs were out-rebounded 44-28. As Montclair had 16 offensive rebounds to the Bulldogs' 10. Bulldogs shot 28, just under 29% from the field. But Montclair just turned it up and shot in the second half 48.5%. I mean, that's that's just the story right there. Bulldogs went 4 of 18 from downtown. Montclair went 7 of 27. The Bulldogs didn't take nearly as many threes this time. But the rebounds were a big issue. The Bulldogs actually limited the turnovers to just 18. Montclair committed 21, but out-assisted by 10, 20-10. And, those are things the Bulldogs have to fix a little bit, and they're going to have to go back to the way they normally play. Different players have to step up for this team, and it can't be just a 1 or 2 man show.
Right, and, we did say that the woman, didn't really do much as far as driving to the basket in the first half. However, they made the adjustments in the second half, and you got to give credit. But unfortunately, with the height that Montclair actually came in here tonight with, they pretty much had an answer as far as, Brooklyn driving into the paint and simply just blocking it.
Yeah. With the win, Montclair is going to go to 9-2 on the year. The women's Bulldogs will drop to 3-4. As once again, your final score for the first game of our doubleheader, the Montclair State University Redhawks 67, the Brooklyn College Bulldogs 50. But right now we're going to take a little break as we'll return with the men's game here at Brooklyn College. The men's Bulldogs will take on the William Patterson University Pioneers. We'll be back in a little bit right after this.